With the consistency that Pulsar has had in the past with the version 1 and the version 2 wireless, I was pretty sure that the version 2 mini wireless was going to be a banger as well. Without question, Pulsar makes the best bang for buck products in the gaming mouse space at the moment, so let's go see how this Pulsar XLITE version 2 mini wireless actually holds up. The performance is once again very good with the 3370 sensor implementation. And the click latency is also very good when you set the D-bounce to 0 milliseconds from the drivers. The battery life is pretty much the exact same, so it will last you for about that 2 weeks. And the mouse feet feel almost the same as on the original XLITE. These are good on smooth pads and they feel fine on my Artisan HAUS version 2. And they even feel very good with a rough pad like the Odin Infinity Hybrid version 2. One awesome thing about the Pulsar and the XLITE version 2 mini these days is that you pretty much know what you're gonna get when you buy a mouse from them. I've got quite a few units of the original version 1 XLITE wireless and then a few of those version 2s as well. And basically in terms of quality and feel, all of these are the same. There is no flex and no consistent creaking even when I'm really pushing the sides. And overall these mice feel quite tanky at under 60 grams weight. The only difference with the version 1s and the version 2s, if we ignore the holes on the sides, is that the version 1s have lighter clicks. That same thing applies to the version 2 mini as well, so it very much feels like a well-built Pulsar mouse that's quite tanky, and that is awesome to see as the mouse weighs 56 grams on my scale. And especially awesome to see at this price. Talking about the shape, the original version 2 weighs 60 grams, so it's only 4 grams heavier, and it's a lot larger than the mini. That can actually make the mini feel more heavy for you than the original because the weight is distributed on a smaller area. And at the same time, it can actually make it feel more high quality as well. Of course, it does not really make the mouse more high quality, so it's just a mental thing, but this is one reason why some people still have not switched to more lightweight models. One thing that's taking away from the feel of the mouse in the V2 mini especially is the design of the sides. With my 19x10cm hands, I would have to grip the mouse quite aggressively not to hit the holes. And people who do use these asymmetrical shapes do tend to relaxed claw more often than aggressive claw. And in fact, even with a fairly standard aggressive claw, I'm hitting the holes on both of the sides. That being said, the holes do not necessarily bother me, and if they do not bother you, they can actually even improve your grip with the mouse, as you can kind of dig your fingers into them, and it's easier for you to find the same exact grip when you pick up the mouse at all times when you feel these holes. But I personally have never had any issues consistently gripping asymmetrical mice, and even if by some chance some people would find that these holes would help their consistency with the grip, these can still feel uncomfortable for you. Let's move on and talk about the click feeling, and the V2 mini has a very tactile and snappy actuation with the KLGM 8.0s. But they're actually quite hard to actuate, which is not very good if you want easy to spam clicks and clicks that feel very responsive. That's especially important for the smaller and lightweight mice, as in-game with a lot of hectic situations, it's quite easy to accidentally move the mouse when you click it if the clicks are hard to actuate. And that of course impacts precision. The side buttons are still using the same switches and these do not have any issues with pre or post travel, but they do not feel premium, and if you play games that require quite a bit of side button spamming, these might not be the best ones for you. The placement is also not optimal with my hand size and grip style, but that's pretty much the case with all of these smaller asymmetrical or ergonomic mice. The issue basically is that with this height and length, there is no space to put them more forward. I mostly use side buttons for in-game voice communication, so this is not an issue for me. But you might want to consider this if you play games that require quite active side button use. The scroll wheel then again is very light, it does not have very defined steps, and the button itself requires about a medium amount of force to actuate. Talking about the shape of the V2 mini, it really does remind you quite a lot of the Skull Mini and the EC3C. The main difference with the V2 mini and the EC3C is that the EC3C feels quite a bit wider, and then again with the Skull Mini, the main difference is with the hump. With the XLITE version 2 mini, most of your palm contact will be happening on this left side of the back hump, and then again with the Skull Mini, the back rounds up more towards the middle, so there is a slight hump here, and that's what will be touching your palm the most. Depends a bit on how you claw the mouse, but you will still have quite a bit of contact with the left side of your palm and the mouse. With my hands, size, I can just about relax claw them, but my ring finger and pinky will be more curled than normal. Although the skull mini shape feels the best for me, it does have these honeycomb holes and these do irritate me quite a bit, whereas the line-like holes on the XLITE version 2 do not really bother me at all. Of course, the EC3C has no holes at all and it does have the Zowie coating, which feels very good and premium for me. And in hand it does feel significantly more premium than either one of these two. I can't blame the XLITE version 2 mini wireless too much for this though, as the Zowie EC3C is one of the most well built and high quality feeling mice I've ever tried. But back to the version 2 mini, and overall it's a very good shape and a very nice addition to the small wireless mouse market. For me it's on the verge of being too small, having used it for about 2 weeks and still not being completely adjusted to it. And that does show in game. Anything tracking based works fine, as I did not have any issues playing Apex or tracking scenarios in Kovacs. Vertical aiming felt very comfortable with the mini, which was to be expected, as I personally have more vertical mobility with ergonomic or asymmetrical shapes. But I did struggle a lot with quick precise flicks in games that have low GTK like CSGO and Valorant. My first shot accuracy was extremely inconsistent. It's weird, as I felt I had good control with the mouse and there are absolutely zero issues with mobility. I tried lowering my sense to 0.6 and then went up a bit with 0.7 without any benefit whatsoever. I did hit nice shots and got good clips, but I was inconsistent. However, I do not have any doubt that I could get used to the mouse if I would have about 2 more weeks with it. So long term I would perform just as well with the V2 mini as with any other mouse that I can pick up and perform well instantly. From the mini and the original, I do have to say that at this moment in time I do prefer the original a little bit more. But that might change during the summer if I have some spare time outside of reviewing new products, because I do want to spend more time using these small ergos, especially the EC3C and the XLITE version 2 mini. Alright, well, for final thoughts I could say that the bang for buck for the version 2 mini is crazy again. The only real downside for me are the heavy clicks. I prefer the implementation that the version 1 had with the Omron switches, as these are significantly lighter. Click feel isn't as good feeling with this as it is on the version 2 mini though, but functionality over good feel any day. These are gaming mice at the end of the day, so it does not make sense for me to get something that's fun to use while browsing Twitter over something that's responsive, light and spammable. The issue isn't only the switch though, as I have tried very well implemented and light KLGM 8.0s and even heavy Omron 20Ms, although that's quite rare. Let's quickly talk about Skillshare, and actually the first 1000 people to use the link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. The link can be found in the description. So you can start learning yourself right now. They've got plenty of great stuff. For example, for me there is video editing, video creation, video planning, web development and everything like that. The content is also very well made, there are no ads and it's very concise, which is very important for me who has a day job, has a YouTube channel and likes to game a lot. So I don't need to invest that much time, but I do get a lot of return value from there. I've been using Premiere Pro as long as I've been doing these YouTube videos for, but I never really got into After Effects. So I figured out that this would be a great time to learn, and I found this great guide from Jake Bartlett. I've been slowly learning as I go, and you should see the benefits in the future videos. That's pretty much it on this one. Check this video right here for some information about the OG XLITE, and this one for the difference with the version 1 and the version 2. And I'll place my EC3C reviews somewhere around the screen as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if for some reason you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and see you in the next one.